There's a life I could have known, one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that one could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Time's gone by, I've traded black dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Good morning, Robertson County. This is 1100 WSG. I'm U-Turn Laverne, and this is One Street Over. And all my people are in the house. Barry and Rebecca Richards are in the house with me. And first time I heard this, I was with you guys.
Oh, that's right.
You know, the Kilgore Station Blue. This is, I talk about this all the time because, I mean, you guys are my oldest sponsor. Y'all really are. Y'all been
Becky's
with me.
older than I am. Just
Wait.
Well,
Now he's in
you've
trouble.
been with me really since the beginning. You were one of the first ones that when I was looking for sponsors, y'all said, hey, yeah, we'll do it. And y'all been with me ever since. And I appreciate it so much. But what we're doing here at One Street Over, the title is so cool because I remember so clearly Jeff singing it at Ridgetop Ramblers.
Yeah, what a great song.
Yeah, and I said, hey, if I ever do a podcast, can I use that song? Sure. And
what's a podcast?
Yeah. Well, no, he knew. Well, because at that time, it was right before I went to the Blaze, and I had just stopped. I guess what year did the Bluegrass Festival start?
That's a great question.
Was I still doing U-Turn Laverne? I don't know if I was still on.
No,
Was it 2012?
you were not on. Yeah,
Yeah.
you were not doing traffic.
It was post that. It was post
I don't
that.
remember. I don't remember if you had started the Blaze or if it was right before you.
I think
started
I was at the
Blaze.
car lot. God help me. I'm just saying. I think I remember Faye coming into the car lot and saying, "Hey, we're going to start this Bluegrass Festival."
That may have been, yeah.
Because I love the paints. They're wonderful. But oh my word, car sales? No. That's just a place where God landed me because it was right after my dad had died real suddenly, and you know how you're just kind of in that. I was just in that place that I just didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so that was just a place they let me land there,
That's
and
perfect.
I learned, and I met some wonderful people, and it was great. I still had people come up, you sold me a car, and I'm like, really?
Did I?
Did I?
What did I tell you
Did I
about
do
it?
an okay job? Because they're wonderful, but no. Anyway, so we've been together all this time, and I just love this song because I had come out of radio, and I thought, okay, if I ever,
If you ever,
do
put your
dabble,
toe back in the
in
the water.
and then Peterson's came up to me and said, hey, we want you to do this show. Dick's leaving, and it just all worked. I just love how God puts things in your path.
Yeah.
This song, because the song tells the story of what we're doing here, what is happening over there. Because we don't pay attention to what's
Yeah.
happening
Oh,
over there.
absolutely.
Yeah.
One street over.
We
from
don't
where
know
we're
what's
living.
happening on our
Yeah.
street.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't.
That's the way it
and
is for a lot of people.
I get on here every morning and preach. Know what's going on one street over. Well, do I? Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
And
So-
Robertson County's a big county. It's hard to
It
know
is.
what's going on in Cedar Hill if you live in Greenbrier. So.
Exactly. And teaching Greenbrier. Hi, Bobcats. I'm so excited. I'm a Bobcat. I love Bobcats. I always wanted a pet Bobcat. I wonder if since I'm a Bobcat now, they'll let me have a pet Bobcat.
Took a right turn there.
There you go. I know. I'm sorry. You know, when a rabbit runs past me, if it's got a lot of meat on it, I gotta chase it. You know.
funny.
I'm sorry. Hi. How y'all doing? Anyway, this is what we do every morning here, Monday through Friday. The Richards are a part of it. They've been a part of it since the beginning. And again, all the way to the song. So, welcome.
Yeah, we're glad to
Good
be
to
here.
see
Thank
you
you
guys
for
here.
inviting us in this morning.
Absolutely. I always love just kind of touching base with y'all.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like one of those people, one of those movie stars that puts out a new movie and they go to all the different shows and they get asked the same question over and over again because everybody I run into, if I haven't seen them in a few months, they start asking about real estate. They want what's going on. Tell me what's happening. What's happening? And it's interesting. Some people are they were thinking about buying and maybe they gave up and they're thinking about it again, or maybe they didn't sell and they kind of wish they had when they had at the top of the market. But I've got good news for those people too. And then I had somebody run into me who's an investor, owns rental property. He was telling me his experience and asking me about my experience. So
Yeah. So do y'all have rental property then? Do you have?
we don't own rental property, but we work with a lot of investors who are always on the lookout for rental property.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it varies. We have some investors who they want more or less a turnkey opportunity where it's a nice house and they can just put somebody right in it, or in some cases they're buying a house where there's already renters in it. And then I've got other investors and all they want is something that they're going to have to just completely renovate. They're looking for that bargain because they've got the skills and time
Yeah.
and the
They're house flippers.
desire.
Yeah.
But they're going to fix them up and rent them out.
Gotcha.
That's
Oh, okay.
that's their
Okay.
key.
Right.
But they've got to get it at just the right price and know what they're putting into it before they'll invest in. So we've got a lot of different investors that are looking for that sort of thing. And by the same token, we run into people from time to time who say, I need a rental, or they say we need a home. And of course, we're realtors, so we want to help them buy something, but
Sure.
it's, not everybody's in that situation. So a lot of times they'll call us about rentals. We don't manage any property, but we know a few property managers and we're happy to, send them on
Okay.
their way, and hopefully they'll come back to us when they decide if the time is right for them to actually buy something. So
Okay.
Yeah, because the market was such that, it was challenging there for a while to buy, and still a little bit, but also just finding rentals was just as hard.
Right.
So it's we try to help where we can. So
Well, and it's so interesting because when you talk to Ryan Martins, particularly when they talk about what's happening just in Springfield and the number of people that we're expecting to come in the next 5 years, it's still this market itself, Robertson County, it's not going to cool down anytime soon. It doesn't appear.
no,
Right.
a lot of
Am I
people.
missing
Well,
it?
and people that
it's just different. It's
Yeah.
still a very good market for sellers, but it's just there's different terms that are going to be coming around. There for a while when the sellers would put their house on the market, we would have multiple offers. It was just a feeding frenzy. The terms they were getting were very attractive to sellers. We had people coming in above asking price, paying above appraisal, waiving inspections. I think we're going to see that slow down. The price of the homes, though, are maintaining. I think a lot of people are saying, oh, I see all these price drops. Well, the people are not listing their house at market value. They're still thinking, ooh, the market's hot, we can list because they're going to pay over, so we can list over the market value and still get multiple offers. That's gone. So we're seeing people put their house on the market a little bit too high, and then they're having to correct it and bring it back down to what market value is to get those showings and get those offers now.
a lot of people said, is this bubble bursting? No. There's nobody who really looks at it seriously that sees it as a bubble. Becky has gone through a bubble bursting in real estate and came out the other side of it. But
Yeah.
this is all driven by a lack of inventory and like you said, people moving to Springfield because of jobs or for other reasons. People need to. Everybody has to have a place to live, whether they're going to
Right.
rent, they're going to buy. And so the demand is really strong all across Middle Tennessee, for homes, and that's really a result of low inventory. And you can look at several different things that contributed to that, including the pandemic. But that's where we are now. But it's good news for buyers. What's going on today is that even though inventory is still really tight, the market is cooling enough to where it's not going to be as frustrating for buyers.
Right.
Because that was really challenging. We worked with several buyers at different times who they just felt like they were beating their head against the wall.
Yeah, the young first-time buyers who may not have the cash reserves to pay above appraisal or to pay their own closing costs, because sellers were not giving anything away. They would make multiple offers on multiple houses and kept getting beat out. And I love my first-time buyers, but I had to advise several of them, take a break. They were demoralized. And, save your money and wait for this market to ease up a little bit and then try again. Because when you buy your first house, it's always nerve-wracking, but it's exciting and it's joyful. And it was sucking the joy right out of it for them. So we're hoping that now that the market is starting to, I wouldn't say relax, but be a little bit different, maybe some of these first-time buyers will have opportunity again. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, just as talking about first-time buyers, and I remember my first, we bought and we're staying and we're not going anywhere, but Lloyd Kite, I can remember we needed so much down and he ended up financing it for us. And so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like we paid him, and it was after about 5 years we paid him off or something. So those kinds of things just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And so, but we got our property because the owner wanted to work with us, wanted us to buy the property and all of that. So you just didn't have that for a while, but you may see that come back around now where people are able to kind of work and negotiate and give some better terms.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Okay. But, and that's so funny because I'm sitting here listening to you guys, and what I hear here, I see with one of my sons who is in Gallatin. They would love to buy 10 acres, and build, and they just can't find it.
Oh.
Not really. I mean, not in the areas that they really
that's the
need.
key.
Yes.
That's the
they
key.
might be able to find 10 acres, but it's not.
Let me tell you about Lafayette.
Yeah, exactly. That won't work.
Exactly.
And then I have another son down in Alabama in the Huntsville area, and they're having the same situation we have here. And he would love to buy, but he doesn't want to just buy a house on a half, on a little plot. He wants about 10 acres.
Yes,
because they grew up on
that,
acreage, and so they're like, oh, I want some land, and it's just very difficult in those areas. So I'm like, well, Montana. I don't know.
That'd be a fun place
go
to
west,
visit
young
them,
man. Go west, young man. The land might still be affordable, but if you want a piece of the earth. But anyway, around here it's hard to find acreage.
It is challenging, and that's because if it has road frontage, as soon as it makes sense to subdivide that, that's how you get the most money for your acre is to break it into little pieces.
Yeah.
And not everybody wants to mow a yard. The magic number in Kentucky and Tennessee, it varies based on whether you want to. If you're in Tennessee, if you have 15 acres or more, it can be agricultural. It's going to save you on your property taxes.
Right.
In Kentucky, it can just be 10 acres. Becky will tell me if I've got that backwards because we go through this all the time. The difference between the two states, and we have to keep our eye on that. But
we should write that down.
But once you start subdividing it, then it doesn't. For most people, and a lot of people will come to me and they say, I really want new construction, but I want a nice backyard. And I say, well, you're out of luck. All the new construction, most of the new construction in our area is little tiny postage stamp yards, because, a lot of people they don't want to mow a yard. And if they have a yard, it's going to be modest, just big enough, to put a little fence around and keep your dog in. So that's kind of the challenge of what people say they want and what people will pay money for. Kind of varies a little bit. And of course, developers, when you're developing a subdivision, you want to get the most return on your investment. And, you have to kind of go down the middle as far as what people are asking for. So.
Right, right. It's such an interesting time. It's such an interesting market. And, I have so many questions. My friends Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team, they're here. If you have any kind of real estate questions that are burning in your brain that you're thinking, wonder what's going on now. But I'm gonna field them a few of mine. Now I'll talk about my children and what they're wanting to do. So I'm in a situation where I have 40 acres. And but the part that would consider road frontage right there behind me, we could probably put one or two houses right there if we wanted to. And my children have looked at that and maybe considered that. But one of them is very interested in building on the hill, but coming in from the top. So what do you have in a situation if I have no road frontage on the top, but there's people who own property up there? How do you approach something like that? You say, can I buy an easement from you? Is that what you would have to do to the people who own the land? How do you approach something like that? My real estate experts.
We see that a lot. Probably here's the thing to think about.
Okay.
Is, and you're doing the right thing. You're thinking about the value of your property, because even though you're going to live there the rest of your life,
right?
You never know when things are going to change.
Sure.
So you got to think, and when you pass it on to your kids, you don't want them saddled with something that's less valuable because you made a mistake.
Exactly.
Or poor judgment. So if you're going to have acreage that is only accessible by an easement, you've got to remember you can't subdivide an easement. So if you've got an easement across your neighbor's property, is a great example, and you've got 10 acres, well, that's always going to need to be 10 acres unless you buy another easement either from that neighbor or come across your property.
Okay.
So just look at that as being, this is the size of this lot. It's never going to be divided into 2 5-acre lots, because you don't have a way to get there and you can't sell half an easement to somebody.
What's always good too, when you decide you want to do something like that, contact your surveyor. And if you've got a good surveyor, they can give you very good advice. This is what we plan to do, and they can tell you about the pitfalls. You know.
Okay.
They'll know what the county's going to allow.
Yeah, and disallow. Yeah, and then also just I think they'll give you advice as to this is not very attractive to buyers or sellers or down the road. They should be able to give you kind of a heads up. Hey, I know this, like he says, fits your needs right now. But be forward thinking, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, you try to sell, or your children are left trying to sell this, what are your goals? What will be their goals? And try to have a compromise with that. So,
But to answer the original question, you just go knock on their door
And just say, hey,
Yeah.
would you consider letting us purchase an easement right there?
Is that where your property line meets theirs?
Yeah.
So-
I mean, because basically when you come in, we have no way to reasonably access the hillside.
Yeah.
But there is one spot up there, and maybe two, where you could build a couple of houses on the hill.
Yeah.
But you would have to do it with the cooperation of the people who own the property, because you're going to have to purchase an easement from them, and there's no motivation really for them to do it if they don't need the
Unless there's
money,
some money
in
because
their
then
pocket.
that's going to be a house in woodlands that has just been woodlands, and while it's not been their property, at least they're not looking at somebody's house.
yeah, absolutely.
And so, I mean, if I were the landowner, I'd be like, oh, if I want you to build
Well,
that's
and-
right
and
there.
that's
Even
a
though
good-
that's your land,
Yeah.
I don't have to give you an easement.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And,
know.
and it does have an impact on the value of their property, because anytime somebody buys a piece of property and it has an easement already across it, whether it's
Gotcha.
a driveway or a utility easement,
Right.
they'll hesitate.
they might have some hesitation, because
Yeah.
they don't know, especially with a driveway, they don't know what that neighbor's going to be like.
Sure.
That neighbor today, I love them. I think U-turn's great, but I don't know her kids, or
Yeah.
her kids own it today, but
Who's going to get it tomorrow?
who's going to get
Yeah.
it tomorrow,
Yeah.
and who are my neighbors going to be that I have to tolerate because
Sure.
they're coming across my land?
Well, that's the thing. When the kids first mentioned trying to build up on top of the hill, I'm like, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, because I don't know the situation there. Because I know that when we were wanting to, years ago, we went in and select cut timber. And we were wanting to, and I don't even know who owns the property now, but we knocked on the door and said, hey, can we access and cut timber. Well, they're like, no, because they didn't want us to.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's like,
Then once you turn
again,
up the-
because they enjoyed that woodland even though they didn't own it.
Yeah.
They didn't want, and I mean, but ultimately they didn't make it easy for us.
Yeah.
And we had to access it, and get a permit from the Corps of Engineers to cross the creek and,
Oh, wow.
and do it that way.
Wow.
But again, that's been
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so that's how we did select cut. And I mean, and we did not clear cut anything.
Yeah.
We just did it to select. I mean, we had some valuable trees over there that we wanted to sell.
Yep.
So that's how we ended up having to do it. And so if it's the same owner, I'm thinking, I doubt very seriously they would sell you an easement.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so if they ever sell that house, you
Then-
might want to get one of your
yes.
brothers to buy it,
Yeah,
and then we
absolutely.
could,
That's
that
what I
might be
was
the-
thinking. Buy that property.
Honestly, yeah. And
That's probably be easier than getting an easement. But
Well,
who
and when
knows
you
how
s-
long you got to wait for
Yeah,
that. So.
exactly. So
when you sell property of your own that is, going to be more valuable to your neighbor than to anyone else,
Right.
that's a good position to be in. If your neighbor is number one interested and number
Right.
two and has the ability to invest in something like that. Not ever, that's the way it is at the worst possible time, right after you've spent money on something else, an
Yeah.
opportunity arises that,
Yeah.
that would really pay off in the long run. So,
well, and that's the thing I told the kids. I said, I'm not going to go knock on the door and say, hey, let me know when you're going to sell it because I'm not buying any more property. I've got.
but you kids be happy.
They
with
might,
that.
yeah. And so that I might not go to the door and say, hey, if you ever decide to sell, please let us know because one of my children might be interested. Bottom line,
There you
just,
go.
and just leave it at that. But those are the kinds of things. I know somebody recently that added to their property significantly because their neighbor came and said, I'm selling. Are you interested?
Yeah.
And they're like, yep.
That happens a lot.
Ching,
That-
ching, yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's one of those things. So up at the top of the hill, if you decide to sell,
That's
y'all,
how you reach them.
let me know. Let me know. And I'm not interested, but one of my kids might be.
They
So,
actually had a change in Tennessee state law just a couple of years ago that addressed probably a problem where people were orphaning property. They would partition off property. So here's the way it could have worked in the past. You could have
Okay.
said, okay, I'm going to subdivide that property. I'm going to landlock this parcel you're talking about, and my kids are going to buy it, and then my kids are going to go to court. And they're going to tell the judge, well, the most obvious way for me to get to this property is to come across this neighbor. And there is an obligation, of the court for people not to be landlocked. But that particular example is exactly why they changed the law to say the person who caused the property to be landlocked should be the one obligated to provide access. So
Absolutely.
it keeps you from
Absolutely.
creating a situation that unduly affects your neighbor.
Right.
Where you
So-
can strong harm them.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that
that's
wouldn't
not
be right. And
Yeah,
you
that's,
just, I'm glad that we're protected that because,
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have any obligation to
No.
sell me
No.
an easement.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm a farm girl, man. That's their land,
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
I have so much respect for that. And so that's why I told the kids, I said, good luck. Good luck. Maybe, if the property comes for sale, but because then you've got to have water access and
That-
all
that's-
of
and
those
that's what I was
things.
thinking.
Yeah.
How are
You've
they
got to
gonna-
have water tap, and
Yeah,
we
that's
do.
expensive.
Well, yeah, and so they have released more water taps now, and that's one question that I've had a conversation with them. We could get another water tap on our property that's there by our house, and we started to go ahead and secure one just in case. And I thought, if the kids want to do that, they can do that.
Yeah.
But I'm just not gonna go there because they might not ever use it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the
whatever.
cost of running that line.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, kids, if you want to do something, come on. But it's
But
gonna be
in
on y'all.
general, real estate's a great investment. So
Yeah.
when you have
Yeah,
an opportunity,
absolutely,
if you-
absolutely. I'm not going anywhere. It's there, so whatever. But I find it fascinating, and it is a very interesting. I'm just very glad I bought what I bought.
Oh, isn't that the truth?
I'm very glad I have what I have.
Absolutely. But
So-
and we have this conversation with people about, I was going to buy and then the interest rates went up. That's going to impact your ability to buy, how much you
Sure.
can buy.
Yeah.
But, are you going to be kicking yourself in 10 years when you look back at what you could have bought today at what price, and who knows what interest rates are going to do? Because,
Yeah.
how much was our first home mortgaged for? It was 8%, wasn't it?
Yeah, 8.
Oh wow!
And
Yeah.
then we talked to plenty
Dog.
of people that
Whoa.
were paying 12 and 16%.
Back in the 80s,
Yeah.
yeah.
in the
So
80s.
it's
So
it's all relative. It really
is.
Yeah.
is.
And-
Because when the interest rates started creeping up, this past year, because they were down, 2.5%, 3% people
Yeah.
were getting, and they started creeping up to 4%, and people were in a panic, and it's like, it's all
have no
relative.
idea, yeah.
It's just, it's even, what was you looked yesterday, was it close to 6? When I asked you about what the interest rate was?
Oh yeah. The state average was what, 5 3/4,
Something like that.
Seriously?
Yeah, and it was just like, and that's freaking some of the buyers out who have been looking, because they
Yeah.
started looking when it was so low and they couldn't find what they want.
Yeah, now
And
it's
so
up
they
high.
had that frustration. And then they got the frustration of seeing those rates going up. And it does affect the amount they want to borrow if they're trying to keep their payment at a certain rate.
Yeah.
But still, it's not bad. It's not in the double digits, because I can remember when ours was 8 and then it went down to 6, and we were all excited, and we refinanced.
Yeah, we did.
We refinanced
Yeah.
at that time. So
I had the mortgage people call me. They're like, "Oh, we want you to refinance." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I got like 3.4. Go
Yeah.
away. Ain't no touching that,
Tell me
dude."
in black and white,
It's like,
but this
yeah,
don't say
see you
anything.
later.
Yeah,
See you later. Nope,
absolutely.
not touching it. Not touch that. But talking with Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. If you have any kind of real estate questions, this is the time to put them out there, and they will be glad to help you and answer those questions. And let's just make sure they know how to get in touch with you. So
Oh,
if you are one of our
absolutely.
advertisers, let's go ahead and unpack exactly how they sell
Becky,
with
tell
Becky.
them how they can
Yes.
get in touch with you.
How
can they get in
Website,
touch
give
with
me
you?
your phone number
Oh,
too.
my phone number.
There you go.
I can handle that. It's
There you go.
615-504-7425.
Say it again.
615-504-7425.
I need to add that to my ad because I always tell them sellwithbecky.com.
Oh, that's a good way too.
But let's do
yeah.
that number one more time, and I'm going to write it down and put it in with my notes. Go
All
for
right.
it.
615-504-7425.
7425. I'm going to start just handing that thing out.
There you go.
504-7425. Did I say it right?
You did.
504-7425. Okay.
On,
Got it.
on her updated website, when you go to sellwithbecky.com, it has her number down at the bottom, and
Okay.
you can go there and search for homes in Robertson County, anywhere around Middle Tennessee, and we're adding the on the new website. We're adding the Southern Kentucky search to that this week. So.
Well, because a lot of people are going to that Southern Kentucky situation because it's more affordable.
Yeah.
They of course you get the income tax situation. What is that? I think you and I have talked about that
Yeah,
before.
currently
if they're
it's-
working in Tennessee, do they have to pay the
Yes.
income tax?
If
Yeah.
you live in Kentucky, doesn't matter where you work, you have to pay Kentucky income tax. We were in that situation years ago for a short period of time, and but Kentucky has got their eye on rolling it back because there's so many companies that like Texas, Florida, and Tennessee because of no income tax. Along with other incentives, and Tennessee's a great place to live.
Right.
But Kentucky is, and I'm trying to follow it as best I can. But right now they've got some triggers in place. If they can meet some goals, they'll roll it back. They'll reduce it by 20%. And some of the people behind that legislation really want to see it go away completely. But you know how it is. You can't. You can't guarantee that. But it still is. Getting people's attention. And Becky had a conversation with a builder. She's helped somebody buy new construction in Franklin. Did you close on that last week?
Yeah, we did, and I actually got to chat with him for a little bit, and it's always interesting talking to different people in the real estate business, and he's been building them for quite some time, both in Tennessee and Kentucky. And me and Barry were talking about, people trying to get out of Nashville, marching northward just to get different homes. And so we do get a lot of people jumping over the line. But he was comparing the cost of homes in Tennessee to Kentucky. And he said he could remember where over in Portland, it used to be very similar to Franklin, Kentucky. But he said anymore, a home, in your average home, we're talking 1,300 to 1,500 square feet, your starter home, which starter homes now are, in the 300s,
That's
but
crazy.
he said it's a $40,000 or $50,000 difference, the same home, where used to it was the same. What we think will happen, of course, we do not have a crystal ball, but we can see eventually those prices of homes right over the border, was that 65 access. I think that's really
the key,
important.
being able to get on the interstate.
Will be comparable to Tennessee homes. So That's another reason I think that's a good place to invest
Yeah,
with your
if-
first home.
if-
If it works for you, but we have a lot of people that of course they work in Tennessee, can't find what they want here, but that commute has got to make sense.
Yeah,
So,
but like you said, it's got to make sense. What is another 15 miles each way? Is that cost of gas? You got to
bet.
figure that
Yeah.
into your budget.
I'll bet.
You got to be realistic about it. Of course, a lot more people working from home.
oh, that's huge. Yeah.
and
Well,
Making sure they have internet
See,
access.
that's
the
Yeah,
thing.
that's
That's
what we
absolutely
get used to. Do we have city water?
Yeah.
Do we have electric now? It's what's the speed of the internet?
You better believe
yeah,
it.
So that's huge.
Yeah, because I mean, my couple of my boys, they're and they're with HCA, and they're computer
okay,
people.
yeah.
If I try to say specifically what they do, I'm going to get it wrong.
We
but
know
it's,
how they
we
do.
know
but
how
it's
that
very,
is.
very technical,
Yeah.
very technical, and they do have opportunities to work from home a lot. One of them, I think, just pretty much always works from home, but then one of them has to kind of maybe half the time. And if he doesn't have high speed internet, it's just a no go.
Yeah.
You just can't do it now with Cumberland Connect.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
awesome.
Cumberland
Isn't it?
Electric.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Do y'all have it yet?
we have it at our place.
You got Cumberland Connect?
We've had it for a long time. In fact, we were working on
I'm
20,
jealous.
21 taxes
Yeah.
and said, hey, that's where we went over to Cumberland Connect. And
awesome.
and then when we sell over in Sumner County, for a long time, a North Central Telephone Cooperative out of Lafayette has been providing fiber to those folks up in Allen County, Kentucky. I mean,
my.
every
They've had
goat
fiber,
path
yeah.
has fiber optic on it. Simpson County, you've got to watch where you're headed because there's certain areas that the electric plant board there supplies, like Cumberland Connect, and some areas they don't. So
Yeah.
you've got to know what you're looking at. If you've ever paid attention as you drive out of Springfield and you cross into Adairville, there's a sign there. It says Adairville, Kentucky is a gig city because they've got fiber optic, high-speed internet there. And that's going to be more and more important, obviously, for folks. And it's a deal breaker for
Yeah.
a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of our clients.
You bet it
They
is.
just don't have an option. We're working with clients now who are, looking at big houses, but if they don't have high-speed internet, as much as they might love the house, it's not going to be an option for them.
We sold that house up in Franklin, on Gold City Road. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And the
Oh, yeah.
purchase, we represented the sellers, and the purchasers did not explore that thoroughly.
Yeah.
And they put that house back on the market 2 months after they bought it because they did not have the internet access. That's why you need a realtor.
Yeah, they
bet.
had some
Yeah.
access, but they just didn't like the options.
They didn't like
Yeah.
the options yet. It was not suitable for them. So
Yeah.
to help you fully explore that or remind you, because that's one thing when you're getting ready to buy the house. There's so many different things to consider as a buyer, and you may just overlook something. And we have a checklist,
Yeah.
to go over with them. Have you considered this, and this? So
because home buying's it's an emotional thing. When you walk through a door of a house and it's a couple and they look at each other and they say, "We love this. This is perfect. This
Yeah.
This is everything we always wanted in a house. I love the way the kitchen looks." You need an agent who said, "Well, have you considered X, Y, and Z?"
Yeah.
yeah.
And this works perfectly for you, but someday you're going to want to sell it, and because it doesn't have this or it only has that, it's going to be a handicap to you down the road.
Yeah.
Just that.
Not to be a Debbie Downer, but
But at the end of the day, it's your
little
money.
reality,
Uh-huh.
as they make their decisions is good. So
I love it. So go ahead.
No, but
Yeah.
that's the key too. But at the same time, you want to have your eyes open where, look, if you decide to invest in adding this to this house, it's going
Oh,
to
yeah.
change dramatically the value of it. A great example is unfinished areas of a house. We occasionally run into where they framed out the bonus room, but it's just attic space. And you can see when the cost of building materials is reasonable, how great it would be to add square footage. And that's the easiest way to improve the value of your home in a lot of situations is to finish out square footage, because that's going to quickly add up on the sale price when you go to sell.
Very good. And we're talking with Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team, and just reminding you, if you want to get in touch with them, all things real estate. And what I love about them is the fact, how long have you been doing this, Rebecca?
oh gosh, 15 years? Is that right?
It'll be 15 years on October 10th.
Okay, so when did you go full time with it?
Full time 2017.
2017, because
That's right.
they're like questioning each
Yeah, I
other.
think so.
But the big thing, you've got Rebecca that's been at this a long time. We talk about being one of the first. I always, when I say you've been one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist, that illustrates that you're studying and that you're staying up to date on stuff
Yeah.
because you have to.
You really do, and it's important. I mean, because you're working all the time too. But we do have to have continuing education, which we never put it off to the last minute.
No.
Right.
But it's also important that we work in an office where we have a core group of agents that come in daily, and we are always discussing what's coming down the pipe or what's going on now. We're lucky that we have a broker who is very numbers oriented. She's really good about, because that's not my forte at all. But at our meetings, she's showing us, this is what's happening with the days on the market. This is the average sales prices, what they're doing, and she'll even break it down. Last meeting we had, she broke it down from Nashville, comparing Nashville to White House to Springfield, counties, and it's getting a good overview of what the market is doing in our area, and then we discuss it. And then we try to remember those numbers, which is very hard. But it is. I mean, you can't just forget about, so much and get in your business and bury your head in the sand.
Yeah.
It is good to keep appraised of all situations as much as you can. So
Yeah, we can't tell the future, but we don't want to be surprised anymore.
yeah,
Exactly.
we tried to see the
Exactly.
trends anyway. So
Exactly, and that's one of the things I love about you, because I know that you're doing that. And then when you've got a marketer here,
Yeah, that's key.
I mean, that's incredible.
It
Because,
makes a world of
Yeah.
difference. And when I go to a listing appointment, I'm getting ready to go to one today, and he had tried to sell before, and I'm going to be. I'll always look at the listing to see what happened before, why it didn't sell, especially in this market. And I looked at the pictures, and I'm thinking, holy cow. I mean, because that's where you capture people. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not just the price and the location. You got to make them see it. And those pictures and the quality of those pictures make a big difference. And so I'm very fortunate to have a person that's not only good at marketing, but his skills was photography and videography and the drone. I can lay out what I can do for them. And what I plan to do is compare their pictures from what they had before. Cell phones are great, but if you've got, your home is a major investment. You want whoever's selling it to treat it as it should be, a major investment. It doesn't matter if it's a $200,000 home or $1 million home. It deserves marketing that will get it seen. And so that makes a huge difference. So I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, it's huge, and I never do an ad that I don't bring that together, because that is such an important thing. And to the fact that since I'm teaching audio and video production,
yeah.
I really during fall break I'd like to come follow you on something, and
Oh,
you teach
sure.
me how you do those virtual
Oh,
tours.
yeah, that would be
because
cool.
I think it'd be really cool to share that with the kids, because when I talk to the students at Greenbrier High School, there's only maybe 2 or 3 of them that kind of think they might want to go into the broadcast industry. By the time I said everything you do can be affected by audio and video, because everybody needs it now.
Absolutely.
And especially if you're in real estate, but anything you do, we're such a social media driven society now. People want to visually see what you're about, and you can package yourself. You can do virtual, or video resumes and have them out on social media to where you apply for something and they go, oh wow, look,
Yeah.
it's a skill that everybody can benefit from, and you guys display that so beautifully when you show the example of it in real estate.
Well,
So-
your house has to stand out.
Yeah.
It has to, because people still have a lot of choices. We talk about how inventory is tight, but the reality is a person is going to sit down at their computer and they're going to scroll through this website or that website looking at houses. And if they're not impressed enough by the photographs, they're not going to schedule a showing to come see your house. You can believe that your house is great all day long, but it doesn't matter if nobody ever comes through the door to see it.
Absolutely, and they'll just swipe right by it. And
Yeah.
it's-
Yep.
And I've heard so many people say, buyers who say, well, there's no pictures, so there must be something wrong with the house, or there's just one shot of the exterior.
Yeah.
So you've got to be
they're-
mindful. As you put things on the market, you're doing your seller a disservice. If you don't have the pictures not only in volume but in quality.
Yeah. I do photography for a lot of other agents as well, and I'm always giving them advice. Like they say, well, I'll just take a few pictures with my phone and get it, come and send us. I tell you what, there's going to be a lot of people that the only time they're going to see this is the second it hits the market.
You
They're going
bet.
to get that alert that says there's a new house that you should see, and they're going to go to it. And if they don't see professional photos right off the bat, they're not likely to come back to it.
You bet.
Yeah.
So don't.
Don't waste that first impression.
What is it? The thing where you're the dating apps
Swipe.
now.
Yeah,
What is
there's
it called?
swiping,
So I don't even know. But
We're too old to know.
yeah, but there's like some kind of a dating app, and they're like, nope. Well, they're the same thing with your house.
Yep, and you don't want that.
That's
so.
funny. But anyway,
Yeah, well, and we look at
I got to remember we got to get that because that's so it's similar.
Yeah, it really is.
Tinder.
Tinder, yeah.
How do
It's
you
like-
know that?
I love
I've
it.
been trapped.
It's
I've
like,
been trapped.
uh-oh.
But you
That's
you
funny.
look at it like look at it like a movie premiere.
Yeah.
A movie comes out opening weekend. That's when all eyes are on it, and that's when
Right.
it's going to get the most attention, and people are going to spend money to buy a ticket. The difference is everybody can buy a ticket to a movie. Only one person can buy your house. So if you look at it like a movie premiere, there's only one opening, and as Robert Evans said, it's just like a parachute. You only get one chance at opening.
That's great. I like that. That's hysterical. You only get one.
And so we
chance.
want to get all
that
eyes
ripcord.
on that house, and that goes back to what Becky was talking about earlier about sellers. Sellers, have heard and seen in the news about how the market is out of control and it's crazy and they're getting top dollar. But the way you get top dollar is not by overpricing your house.
Right.
When you overprice your house and it sits on the market, then people, correctly or not, in their mind say, oh, that's been on the market for a length of time. There may be a problem with it.
Yep.
And they're less likely to seriously consider it. That actually brings me, though, to what our advice today for buyers is. If you were a buyer, if you know a buyer that was looking and shopping and searching and getting discouraged, and they're thinking about coming back to look at the market, now's a good time to do that because it has shifted over the last month and a half, that things are easing up some. But my advice to buyers is do not automatically overlook the house that's been on the market for a few weeks. Look at the price history and have your agent, show you that, because sometimes it's not complete, 100% obvious, because we're seeing houses where they were overpriced and they've sat on the market only because of the fact they were overpriced. And even after they bring the price down because they've missed that window of opportunity,
Right.
they're still sitting there waiting for the right buyer to come along. So, do your due diligence, but don't just assume if it's been on the market for a while that there's a defect. It could just be a defect in pricing.
That happened with my kids up in that don't live here, but that live up in Jackson. They came up on a house like that, and the pictures weren't good, and it's the cutest little house.
Yeah.
But they found a treasure because people just did not market it well out of the gate. And they found just a wonderful little treasure and just the cutest house for first buyers, and but it was not packaged well, because I know when they first sent us pictures, I was like, oh. But then now I'm like, oh, that's just the cutest little house. I just love it. But it wasn't real impressive with that first impression at all.
And I've given marketing seminars to
Right.
realtors before, and I'll show the photograph of our daughter's house that she and my son-in-law bought in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we referred them to a great agent there that said to them, you need to see this house. The pictures are not any good. And
She knew the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And took them there because one of the pictures on Zillow, all you could see was the driveway and then maybe
Yeah.
a third of the house.
well, that's something, and I show this to agents. I said, you don't have to hire me to take your photographs, but let me show you what is going to be important. And this agent had taken her own photos, and she had taken them portrait, up tall and skinny. Well, what you don't realize is Zillow shows those they'll crop those photos on their website, and Zillow's not alone. There's other sites that do the exact same thing. So they had cut the top and the bottom of the photo off. So the main photo was 2/3 asphalt, and then the top third of the photo was like the bottom of the front of the house.
Oh my goodness!
And that's what people were swiping past.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're not even. Oh
No.
my goodness, y'all.
Yeah.
But that
makes my
you know,
heart hurt for
Yeah,
that seller. It
it's
really
like, you're
does.
like, oh my
I mean,
goodness.
hooray for our
You could've
kids.
got-
but
yeah, they could have gotten a lot more for their house.
Well,
Yeah.
and credit goes to a good buyer's agent who said, hey, people are
Awesome.
going to overlook this house. She's on top of the market and knows what new listings are there, and said, hey, I know this neighborhood, and I can look at the pictures and I can see that it's in a similar condition to these other houses.
Yeah.
They're all built about the same time.
Right.
And it was a great find. And those things can be out there, but they're going to require an agent to help you discern what's good and what's bad, answer your questions about neighborhoods, and keep their eye out for new listings when they pop on the market. So.
It's good. I mean, it's just so. This is such fascinating information to me, and I'm so intrigued by the real estate market. It's one of those things that I just. There's a little piece of me that kind of wishes I had dipped my toe in.
I was
being a
thinking
realtor.
that, Barry.
Well,
When she
yeah,
said she sold cars. I
you
thought
sold
she
cars,
could sell
that's
houses.
the next
Yeah.
step.
I don't need another gig, y'all. But honestly, there has been a piece of me that's often wondered maybe that if my husband or I won, might not have really thrived in the real estate business.
It was so funny. And I remember two different things that got me into real estate. I remember you suggesting it, and then also my sister-in-law.
Said you would be good at it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and when I started selling, I really enjoyed it, and I got to thinking, I'm going to bring Barry over to the dark side to real estate, and I thought he would be a good salesperson.
Yeah.
And but it took a while to pull the trigger, but we have really enjoyed. Golly, it was a game changer. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just. It's fun getting up in the morning. My job I used to have years and years ago as an X-ray technologist. Loved that because dealing with people, but not the same joy that I have getting up doing this particular job. So we should use this as a time to recruit agents.
I'm gonna say you might want to mention.
Yeah.
We do
that.
have, and Exit Realty in general has a great program to incentivize us to recruit agents. You
Yeah.
know, because you think about it, agents are independent contractors. I compete with Becky.
Yeah, we are not a team legally. Well, I
Oh,
guess
how
by marriage
funny!
legal
I
we
didn't
are.
think I knew
But
that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you would think that we wouldn't want anybody else to get into real estate, but the reality is lots of people are going to get into real estate. We would prefer them to come work with us so that we can help them, number one, and that their success will benefit us as well. So if anyone's interested in getting into real estate, whether it's in Robertson County or anywhere, we'd love to talk to them about the opportunities that Exit Realty offers, because it is different than other real estate firms. We're fortunate here in Robertson County. We've got some great real estate firms. We've got some really good agents and really good brokers with a lot of different companies. And but we would love to tell you what sets our company apart, and see if we're a good fit for you and you're a good fit for us, because we don't need warm bodies. We need people that are excited about helping people,
Right.
and getting out there and if they've never been in sales before, learning what sales is about. If they've never worked in real estate, but everybody comes to the table with a set of skills they've developed doing something. Becky worked in healthcare and had a great set of skills helping people, interacting with people, that paid off. I came to it with a background in marketing. So whatever you've done, whether it's flipping burgers or digging ditches, you've got something that you can bring and help capitalize on that and learn the rest of it to find out if real estate's right for you. With our company, it works pretty well. There's, of course, you've got to take classes, you've got to get your state license, you've got to pay some fees. But one nice thing about Exit Realty Garden Gate team with our 3 offices is our 4 offices.
Four,
now.
yeah, we just opened one in
We're
Kentucky.
We'll open in a couple of weeks in Franklin. That you're not paying a monthly fee just to hang out, but our goal is to have you making money right away. And
I
that's
just
what we're
like the
encouraging.
support because I've been there the whole 15 years. And I mentioned our broker was really good. She was the primary reason I joined the company, because she has the heart of a teacher. She taught for a while too.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
She truly has a heart of a teacher, and that's what you want, is that support when you start brand new. Like you said, I came from the healthcare business. I knew nothing about selling houses when I started, but I had the support of the company and the resources to learn. And it's scary when you first start selling real estate, because it is a major responsibility. I mean, you've got a major investment of somebody's that you're either trying to help them purchase or sell, and it's serious. And when you take it seriously, then you want to do it right. And writing that first contract or that first offer, or accepting that, or helping your sellers accept that, you want to make sure you don't make a mistake that could cost them thousands of dollars.
Right.
And so we loved it, or I loved it, because I could go to my broker, say, this is the situation, this is what we got. And we went over that first contract line by line. Although you learn it in class until it's real,
Yeah.
and you're dealing with somebody's house, you want to make sure you do it right. And it's been a great place to land, and I don't see us ever going anywhere else. But I've recruited several people other than my husband to come sell, and he's right. We're in competition with each other, but it's a friendly competition,
That's the
and
standard.
it really
And the
invigorates
other
you.
agents in our office who, we're also in competition with,
Yeah.
but we work
Yeah.
together. And
I
we
love
feel
it.
like,
Yeah.
we're supporting each other, and we've got each other's backs when it comes to important decisions that have to be made.
I love it. We're talking with Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Can you tell they're friends of mine? We love each other, and we hang out together. And they're my oldest sponsor, my longest consistent sponsor here at One Street Over. And they were there when it was founded. So they're part of this. But we got to do a couple more ads.
please
I
do.
got a couple more sponsors that I do need to cover. And this is a big one. This is Veterans Motorplex. Man, I love Jerry. He's just such a nice guy, and he's just giving back to the community. Here's what they've got going on this weekend. They are saying the first 40 kids, the first 50 kids, 12 and under, are getting through the gate free this Saturday night. Okay, the first 50 kids, 12 and under, are getting in free. And you're going to get free ice cream, kiddos. Okay, the whole time you're there. And they're going to give away a new bike. Okay, that's going to bring the kiddos in. Now, they're also going to have ice cream for sale for the adults, and all the proceeds from that is going to the Down Syndrome Association of Middle Tennessee. He gives back all the time. So they're just going to have a great time. They've got this big, huge event happening. Everyone through the gate is going to get a free ticket for the bike that they're going to give away. They've got, you can get extra tickets if you want to buy some tickets for the giveaway for the bike. Those are $2 each, or 15 tickets. The jumbo pack you can get for $20. So you can get 15 extra tickets for the bike for $20. Or $2 each, you can get an extra ticket for the bike. Everybody that comes through the gate is going to get a ticket for the bike. And again, all of those ticket sales, any extra ticket sales, go towards the Down Syndrome Association of Middle Tennessee. Did I say 50? The 50 first kids through the gate are going to get in free. The kids get free ice cream, and all the ice cream sales that night are going to the Down Syndrome Association of Middle Tennessee. So you get an idea that it's a big deal happening this weekend at Veterans Motorplex. Special thanks to Stephen Thornmorton, he, along with his number 7 race team and his sponsors, the CD Management Solutions, for this great ice cream day giveaway and this big fundraiser. Hundreds of free tickets have also been given away to firefighters, police officers, military, and EMT personnel and their family. So a lot of stuff happening this Labor Day weekend. It's Labor Day weekend. So get out there. It's going to be a good time at Veterans Motorplex. We want you to be a part of what they have going on. If you have not made it out to see what's happening at Veterans Motorplex, you just don't know what you're missing. They have so much fun out there. It's at 3183 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. Gates open at 4. Racing starts at 6. Great times happening. And again, this Saturday, September 3rd, big fun happening at Veterans Motorplex. First 50 kids get in free. Go and see them, and make sure when you do, you tell them that U-Turn sent you. And continuing with my friends, Barry and Rebecca Riches with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team here on One Street Over. What are we missing here? We've talked about everything. I was going to talk to you about some technology. We'll just have to do that another day.
We'll do that another
But
day.
absolutely.
I went to the trouble to print out some.
Yes, I
stuff.
I was looking at this sheet and I thought, I don't think we've even touched that.
And Becky actually has a great example of exactly what I'm going to mention here.
Mm-hmm.
The median sales price for all of Robertson County. I went to InfoSparks, easy
Okay.
thing for me to look up. 21.3% median sales price is up, and it's $396.
Wow.
Is the median sales price for all of Robertson County right now. And Becky actually had, wow, your example nailed that median sales price of how somebody got a return on their investment in real estate in the past 6
on the
months.
Robertson County side
Right on
of
that
White
microphone,
House.
Rebecca.
Yeah, it was on the Robertson County side of White House. I had some sellers come to me, early in the summer. I guess it was probably in May, or that's late spring, isn't it? But anyway, they had purchased their house September of 2021, last year in September. They had bought new construction for $328,000 in White House, Robertson County side. And they thought they would be there a while, but their situation changed. They wanted to get closer to their grandchildren who moved northward. So back in the early spring or late spring, they decided to put their house on the market. We actually met. I suggested they list their price, and I gave them a range. I think back then it was $389 to $399. Now remember, they bought it for $328. And that was less than a year later. That's how much those prices went
Wow.
up. We're not doing that anymore, but that was a good time. Unfortunately, there was a house in the neighborhood, another new construction, almost the same, who was listed at $425,000 and was under contract. And I was like, wow, that's a way over it. And they said, we want to list for that. And I thought, well, my comps aren't showing that, but that one hasn't sold yet. But okay,
Right.
you're in the driver's seat.
Sure.
Well, that one didn't sell for that. It fell out of contract. So their house sat and sat and sat because they listed it right at the $425,000. Finally, they dropped their price, and we ended up selling it at $397,000, which
Wow,
was
but
very
still,
close.
it's
But
incredible.
yeah, but it sat on the market, so they were nervous because the market was still good back then. We were
Right.
getting no showings, and it kind of, like Barry says, it pays to listen to your realtor, because at the end of the day, sellers are sitting in the driver's seat, and I always tell them, we will list the house for where you want it, but this is what my numbers are telling me. And when you overshoot, you're usually shooting yourself in the foot.
Right.
You're missing that golden opportunity for to get, because when it first hits the market, that's when people are excited. That coming soon, new listing, but then they see that high price. They may not even come and look at it because they'll think, oh, they'll never come down. But it had a happy ending. They did sell it. They sold it at a great price. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
$328 they purchased, and less than a year later, $397. That was fantastic.
You bet.
But again, we got to set sellers' expectations, and some of them are still not listening. That was the old market, and a lot of those prices that went up that high, it was multiple offers, no appraisal, people paying above appraisal. So, we don't want to be, like I said, the Debbie Downer, but we do want to speak real numbers, and hopefully they'll be able to listen to us and trust us that we've got their best interests in mind.
Right.
We really don't want a quick sale, although that's what we had back in the day last year.
Yeah.
But that's not our goal, the quick sale. I always worry when I get a contract right out of the gate. And, I'm thinking, okay, did we price it too low? No, you probably priced it just right. But I'm thinking, is there going to be another offer? Do we take this one right out of the gate? It kind of makes me nervous. I want as many buyers in there as possible to see this house and to make offers on it and bring that price up.
Absolutely. I love it. You guys are great representatives, and we're just the same. We're just the same as out of time. We're here in the last minute, and I got to real quick talk about Corbin Creek, and then we'll come back and say goodbye. But I do, when we got Lee Marie coming in with the Ghost Show, she's getting ready to take over. So let me real quickly just talk to you about Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. They are my source for CBD right now. That's the thing. As we finish up the growing season, you got to start getting into fall, keeping in mind they're not going to have mums this year, because when it was time to get the mums going, Miss Jane was sick. She was in the hospital, and Amy says, Mom comes first. And so she does have petunias, and she's going to have some fall color for you, but they're not going to have the mums that you expect in the fall. What they do have right now, they always have great houseplant selections. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. They are my succulent source. You can't get better succulents than what you find right there at Corbin Creek. And they also have some great deals on some of their summer stock right now. Go and talk to them, and they're going to have some fall color for you with petunias about mid-September. But they are your CBD source year-round. And you can go see them right now, 7 days a week. They're open from 9 to 5. They'll cut those hours back as we get on into the fall. But they are your source for local CBD. If you're wanting to check it out and see if maybe it'll work for you to help you with your arthritis, like myself, maybe you've got bug bites and you want to use the salve, and aches and pains, anything that's inflammation-driven, it is fantastic, and it's made from plants that are grown right here in Robertson County. But you can talk to them at 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185. They're at 4920 Highway 161. Again, one of our longtime sponsors, and we love them so much. And when you do get in touch with them, please always let them know that you turned Cincha, and we're heading out now. And any parting thoughts, you guys?
No, thank you so much for having us in.
It is my pleasure. Always enjoy visiting with you. Tell them your phone number twice, real quick, Rebecca.
615-504-7425, 615-504-7425.
Or catch them at sellwithbecky.com. My friends, thank you for joining us here on One Street Over. I am, again, U-Turn Laverne, and Lee Marie's coming up with The Go Show next. God bless. Have a wonderful day. This is 1100 WSGI.